Hi, students, it's Miss Williams. Today, we're going to do this assignment together. You'll have one question that you'll need to do by yourself. Before we begin, you will need your text for close reading, natural resource book, and a pencil. So make sure you have that before you move on to the next part. If you don't have this, you're going to go into your Clever and you're going to go into Benchmark and find this text to follow along. Now, as we're reading, remember our essential question. How do we decide which resources we should develop? As we're reading, we're going to close read a short history of a special plant. We're going to answer text-based responses. Again, our purpose for reading is going to be to find out the importance and uses of corn. You're going to have to answer a question at the end of this about the importance and uses of corn. So as we're reading, have that in your head. We're going to concentrate on paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to read paragraph 1 out loud, and I want you then to read it to yourself. So I'll read paragraph 1 out loud, and then you're going to read it to yourself. A Short History of a Special Plant by Laura McDonald. Paragraph 1. Today, corn is the largest crop grown in the United States. Most years, American farmers produce more than $60 billion worth of corn. The story of how the United States became the biggest corn producer in the world begins thousands of years ago in what is now Mexico. Stop. Now you read it to yourself. I'm going to wait a minute while you're reading it to yourself. Go. Stop. Okay. In your head, think about what this text is about. With your pencil, let's underline what we think this text is about. So we know, I see this word corn used over and over. I also see farmers and crops. So I know it's going to be about corn. So I'm going to write the word corn. And I know corn produced $60 billion worth of corn. Corn's very important to the United States. 60 billion is a lot of money. So probably the main idea, what this paragraph is mostly about, is how important corn is to the United States. So in a complete sentence, corn is important to the United States. So now you make sure that you have that written down on the margin of your book. Pause this video right now so you can do that. Now let's read paragraph 2. Corn, as we know it today, started out as a wild grass plant called teosinte. Teosinte. More than 5,000 years ago, Native Americans in Mexico developed teosinte into maize or corn. Teosinte has only 5 to 12 kernels on each ear, while modern corn has hundreds of kernels. Maize spread through North, Central, and South America and became a major part of the Native American diet. Now you read it to yourself. Read it out loud to practice your fluency. Go. and stop. Now let's think about what this paragraph is mostly about. Well, we know that corn, right? Because I see corn several times mentioned. So I'm definitely going to put down corn as one of my in the margins here. But this time now we're not talking about the United States. We're talking about the Native Americans. And I see this other word mentioned over and over, teosinte. So corn was used by Native Americans many years ago, actually 5,000 years ago. I want to use this. Corn was used. How about teosinte? Teosinte. Early corn was used by Native Americans 5,000 years ago. Okay, that's our second main idea. So now you're writing this in the margins. Pause this video so that you can write it in the margins now. Okay, let's read paragraph 3 together. I'm going to read it and then you're going to read it to yourself. Maize was an important crop to the first peoples of Central and North America. Most people used every part of the corn. They used the stalks for roofs. The cobs were used for fuel. They used the silk to fill beds. They braided the husks to make mats, beds, basket, and dolls. The kernels were ground into cornmeal for cooking and baking. Now you're going to read that to yourself. Go. Okay, so what are we talking about over and over? It says they. I wonder what they is. Oh, people, right? This time I'm not going to write it down, but I'm going to help you so that you can find the main idea on your own. So they, so the people, and they use, what did they use? Okay, corn. For many roofs. Fuel is like gasoline or energy. Silk or beds. So they used it for many things. So go ahead and write that down here in the bottom. So we've now taken some notes about our short history of a special plant, the paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to answer some questions. Now, when we're answering a constructed text response, we're going to make sure that we're answering it correctly and we're restating the question using key words. Okay, let's look at paragraph 1. Question 1. It says, describe the importance of corn to early people. So when I'm writing my paragraph or my sentence, even answering this question, I need to make sure I'm using the key words from this question. So some keywords. Who's it about? Oh, it's about early people. Okay, so let's start it with early people. That's who it's about. Early people. Okay. Now I'm going to ask myself, what did early people do? Early people, importance of corn. Early people, what's a word? Used corn, or maybe we want to say importance instead. Early people, let's start with corn was important. Now we have 1, 2, 3 keywords. To early people. Okay, so now let's go in the text to make sure we answer this question. Corn was important to early people. Oh, look at this last. Oh, it was a part of their diet. Okay, to early people because it was part of their diet. And they used, look at right here, every part of the corn. Okay. Put a period at the end. Thank you. Let's just reread it to make sure. Did we capitalize corn? Yes. Describe the importance of corn to early people. Corn was important to early people because it was part of their diet and they used every part of the corn. Let's go to our checklist just to make sure. Did I answer correctly? Well, it is from the text, so yes, I think so. Did I restate the question using keywords? Corn, importance, early people. Yes, I think I did. Great. Now you're going to do paragraph question 2 by yourself. What ways did first people use corn? So you're going to answer